Thank you. Thank you, sir. First of all, do you support the passage of this bill as drafted?
Senator, my role is to look at the implications of the bill and to implement whatever Parliament passes.
So you don't have a view that it's a bad law or a good law, one way or the other?
Senator, my position is always that I look to give life to anything that's passed through Parliament the best way that we can, to make sure that, as it relates specifically to the results that we produce, public safety results, that those continue to be produced in the best way that we can. Okay.
Well, the other question I was going to ask you flows. You might have anticipated it from the front page of the Globe and Mail today, where it says talks about solitary confinement not being safe nor humane. The use of solitary confinement in federal penitentiaries has spiraled out of control, threatening the rights and well-being of thousands of inmates, a prison ombudsman has stated. Do you have a comment on that?
Yes, I'm not sure what the relationship is to Bill C-15, but...
Well, I mean, we're talking about detection of drugs in the prisons and things like that. It's how I came to that question.
Yes, okay, thank you. Thanks for the clarification, Senator. I mean, in terms of the use of segregation, our legislation is very clear as to how when we can use it, how we can use it, and the processes for monitoring people that are placed in segregation. When we have individuals who jeopardize the safety and security of the institution, of staff, of other offenders or visitors, the use of segregation is appropriate within a correctional setting. Having said that, we need to continually make sure that we're consistent with the law in terms of how we apply it, and that the appropriate safeguards are in place to protect the offender's rights as well.
I won't violate the agreement of one question, but there is one that flows from it. What is the process?
It was 4.5 minutes, and I do want 30 seconds myself.
That's pretty good.
You still got about 45 seconds to go there.
Well, what is the process when you get an ombudsman's report like this? We're dealing with it. I mean, you say you apply the law, and, but if the law results in this inhumane treatment, there's a whole long report today. I mean, it sounds like these results of these studies are quite alarming, and I'm sure you don't just turn a blind eye to it.
No, Senator, and that's for sure. And again, I mean, part of the problem with responding to articles in the newspaper.
No, it's an ombudsman's report. I'm asking what the.
In terms of responding to the ombudsman's report, we have a process. We provide as there is a response that is actually published with the ombudsman's report. We have, for example, a process that I've initiated where we're looking at the impact of segregation on mental health offenders. So I'm convening an outside panel of individuals to look at that, to provide us some advice and guidance as to how to address those kinds of issues. So we do take this very seriously. Part of the problem with a newspaper article is it's not always complete.
Well, I know that. I did specify the ombudsman. Anyway, you've answered it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator Angus. Mr. Head, we're very grateful to you. When you're writing to us, would you please include, if you can, some response to the concerns that Senator Watt was raising about the experience of Inuit, both those who are charged and those who are ultimately convicted and find themselves in the system. And I would also ask if you could give us a little bit of information about your anti-drug strategy, which sounds quite interesting. And I note that way down under enforcement, you do at times prosecute drug crimes or undertake efforts leading to the prosecution for drug crimes committed in the system. Could you give us some information on how many such prosecutions occur, what kinds of offenses they involve, and whether you think this bill is likely to have any impact on that element? I understand the prosecution is not your primary goal, but after all, this bill is about, among other things, prosecution.
I will do that, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much indeed. Colleagues, thank you. And we have made it, just barely. Well done, Chair.